Okay, so one of the first things that's important to learn about is a grounding technique. And grounding techniques are really useful if you find that your mind starts to wander, and really true for anyone whose mind starts to wander, trauma or no trauma. Grounding techniques helps you pull you back into the present. And so you can imagine if you have some post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms such as flashbacks, or you just start having intrusive memories that are pulling on you, maybe stronger than you were ready for, grounding techniques help keep you present instead of pulling you back emotionally and physically into things that might be painful for you. So you can work with your therapist about when it's helpful to visit and sit in pain. But this technique is to help you to stay present. And sometimes when you're working with your therapist, you can use this technique to stay present while also visiting places of pain. So you can hold the two together. It just keeps you from having that sensation like you're being pulled backwards by suspenders into the past. Okay? So we're going to do something very simple called 5 senses grounding. And we're going to go through each one of your senses to help pull you into the present moment. So let's start at the top. Let's start with your eyes and let's just do it together, okay? So look around at the space that you're in and really look and pay attention to what you're seeing and note it out loud to yourself in a mindful way. For example, I have a light in front of me so that I'm not just in shadow when we're talking. So if I look forward, I can be aware that there's a very bright light shining in my face. If I look over to the right, which might be the left for you guys, I can see a black bookshelf and note things to yourself about these things. So like, yeah, it's a black bookshelf, but also it sort of doesn't match the room. Okay. And I have a big black office chair over here that I'm not sitting on because it's not very attractive. So I'm sitting on a stool instead. So I'm noticing that. I notice that it's up against a white wall. I notice if I continue to let my eyes drift that I can see the corner edge of my white desk. If I look down at the floor, I see gray stripes of my flooring. If I look straight ahead, I see this camera in front of me. So I want you to do this. Go ahead and take a moment and look around the room. I'm not going to speak for a moment because I want you to kind of visually notice what you see and make a mental statement in your mind or out loud, doesn't matter. So take a moment and look around. And you can say to yourself, I see, and name the object, and name something specific about it. So I see, if you're in your bedroom, my bed. It's covered in a what color quilt? Go ahead and take a moment. Okay. And if you were doing this by yourself, you might take a little bit longer. But for the sake of moving through this and people actually watching the whole thing, we're going to move along. So if you just move down your face, so you've done your vision. Now let's use your nose, which is one of our most primitive systems, and it's super, super grounding. So take a breath in and notice what you smell. And more than likely, you've become accustomed to the smell in the room, so you might not notice anything at first. So really take a moment, pay attention. Maybe you notice the smell of the lotion that you used on your hands, or you notice the smell if you're wearing makeup or lipstick of that product, or the smell of your own breath, or the smell of wet dog who have come back from the beach and run around the house. What are the things that you can smell? Take a moment. Some people find it really helpful to have a grounding scent that they orient to. So, for example, some people use essential oils. It doesn't matter what smell you use, but if you constantly pair a grounding exercise or a relaxation exercise with a certain smell, maybe lavender or something like that, you can also put that on your hands, smell, and that will help bring you into the present. It should be a smell that was not present at the time of the experiences that you had that you might be pulling back to. So that would not be helpful. So if you've got bad stuff paired in your mind with a particular smell, avoid that smell. That will take you back, not keep you present. Okay, so let's keep moving down and move to your mouth and taste. And again, this is something that we sort of get used to and we don't notice unless we mindfully pay attention. So take a moment and just notice the taste in your mouth. And you might notice that if you focus on different areas of your tongue, like really pulling your attention to the back corners of your tongue, what kind of taste do you notice there? Or like the center, or the tip, the front of your tongue, what do you notice there? You might even notice that you start to salivate a little bit more. Your mouth is thinking like, maybe we're about to eat something. The more detail you can notice, the more you're going to get oriented to now. And so just like smell, some people use a specific taste to orient them. Chocolate's a good one. So just, you can even carry something in your bag that will help you get oriented to the present. A raisin even, just something with a kind of potent taste to help you really focus in on the moment. If you're not getting it, I'm suggesting that we're moving towards a bag of 5 senses orienting. So you can just pop that in your head and think about what kinds of things would I want to help me to orient if I needed something. A lot of people really like using a breath mint, so because a particularly potent one is helpful, and never use it at any other time except when you're like, okay, I need to get present. And you can use it if you're meditating and you want to be present. You can also use it when you're trying to ground yourself because you're being pulled into some negative memory or negative emotional spiral. Okay, so we've done vision, we've done smell, we've done taste. Let's now move to touch. So this one's my favorite one, and it's probably the most grounding. If you just even want to start with the feel of your fingers. So really noticing, you might even notice that one finger is smoother than the others. Or if you put your hands down on whatever you're sitting on. And just, I like to kind of just gently move them back and forth to notice the texture of the thing that you're sitting on. It's like a nubby couch, to notice the nubs in the couch. Really, really paying attention. Maybe notice if you can feel any breeze from the air conditioner, if you're inside, or a fan, or if you're outside, if there's movement in the air, if you can find anywhere on your body that you can feel that. You can even notice as you inhale the sensation of the cool air coming in your nose. You can feel that right around your nostrils, or on the exhale. You can also notice the sensation of the warm air coming down your face. You can even use your hand to breathe, noticing the sensation in and out, cool and warm. Good. So you're orienting to touch. And now let's orient to sound. So I sort of skipped right past the ears there. And if you get really quiet, what noises do you hear? I can hear the thrumming of my computer. I can hear cars going outside. I can hear the air conditioner blowing in the house. What do you hear right now? You might notice that sometimes when you pull your senses up, they get activated for the past memory that you might be trying to not think about at that moment. And so you can say to yourself, that's then and there, but what's here and now? That's then and there, what's here and now? And you might even tell yourself, I can revisit there and then when it's a better time for me. Maybe when I'm with my therapist. Okay. So the way that this might look if you were doing it all in one is you might be thinking to yourself, okay, I can see the color of the room is, I can hear the air conditioner in the background. I can smell lavender. I can taste that I have lasagna for lunch. Sometimes the cheesier it is, not the lasagna, but the things that you're noticing, the more you get oriented. I can notice the sensation of my shoe being too tight on my foot. So the more present you can get, the better. If you need to wiggle, wiggle around. Movement, kinesthetic movement, is also a sense. So sometimes it helps to move. And that should help you get here in the present. Another trick that lots of people use is to make sure that your feet get flat on the floor and really feel the ground beneath your feet. So it just kind of helps orient you to, like, I'm here right now, not kind of flying through the universe. And it helps also if you've had trauma in your childhood to really, it can be tempting maybe to kind of curl up in a ball, but that orients the body towards being small. So if you want to orient the body to the here and now, really take your space. You're an adult now, you're not a little kid, and get yourself kind of bodily into your current age and space. I hope that's helpful. You can and should practice that when you are not in a flashback. You should practice that regularly through the day so that when it comes time for you to use it in a moment where you really need it, you're practiced and you know how to do it. Trying to learn to swim when you're in the deep end of the ocean with sharks swimming by is not the best time to learn a new technique. So practice. It's also just a useful mindfulness practice to have in your pocket. It can really help you not just escape hard things, but really enjoy good things. So next time you're at a really lovely meal, or you're stepping into a nice cool pool on a hot summer day, use these techniques and see if you can't increase your joy by using a 5 senses grounding technique. Hope that's helpful.